ballot box. But I will tell you this. While, like a lot of us out there, not trusting of all politicians, I do trust the American people, and I trust that whoever they vote for, that's going to be my president. And that's
The Rock obviously did not like what Joe Biden was cooking, and of course he has refused to endorse Joe Biden. And you know what I got to say about that? Take it as a W. Here's the reason why. The vast majority of Hollywood are Hollyweird, and of course I could spend 2 or 3 hours, probably 2 or 3 weeks talking about Hollywood, but I'm just not going to do that over the course of this video. We all know where they lie at. We all know that they typically tend to endorse the Democratic Party. They typically tend to virtue signal for the left. It's just kind of who these people are. Now, guys, I made this video last night, and I decided to delete it and redo the video today. And the reason why is because I felt that the original video that I made on this was a little bit too bloated. And, of course, sometimes my videos can be a little bit bloated. I apologize for that. Part of the reason why it is going to be some more changes, of course, occurring over the course of the summer as we get closer into the summer. I understand that we've barely cracked spring, but still at the same time, here we are. So here's the thing. The Rock, of course, he's getting attacked by both sides. You've got people on the right who are saying, look, he needs to come out and endorse Trump right away, which that's more than likely not going to happen because nobody who's a Hollywood actor is going to endorse him. Even though I recently did a video on Michael Rapaport talking about how it was that voting for Trump was still on the table. We'll discuss him again in this video because I need to be able to, contrast the two, The Rock and Rapaport, and why it is that you guys saw in the thumbnail that The Rock could be at the point in time where he, quite frankly, is uncancelable. But we'll get to that momentarily here soon. The thing is this right here. He's also getting attacked by the left for saying, let's see, this tweet right here. Oh, so you refuse to endorse democracy. Honey, I hate to tell you this, but we're not a democracy. We're a democratic republic. There's a difference between the two. Okay, democracy is two wolves fighting over dinner, and a republic, of course, is giving the dinner a rifle to defend itself against the wolves. Just going to leave it at that there for the time being. But of course, there's a lot of people making and jumping to conclusions based upon this interview, basically off of 45 seconds. But of course, I think the interview is a little bit more nuanced than what you think. Now, The Rock recently got hit over the Maui disaster, the money situation, Oprah Winfrey, all that type of stuff there. But of course, at the same time, though, you still have to look at exactly what is said. And I understand why people are upset about the whole Maui situation. I think the Maui situation was an absolute disaster, but I blame the Biden administration a lot more for that situation because they basically left those people out to die after what happened. It basically goes to tell you exactly how it is that these people feel about the American people. Don't worry, we'll probably talk about that in future videos. You guys know me. But still, though, we got to talk about The Rock. So with that right there being said, let's go and get the first part of this interview because I think the first part of this interview in a lot of ways kind of encapsulates where this guy is going at least as far as his thinking is concerned.
Important to you no matter its popularity?
To be real and to be direct and to be open and to be transparent. And as you and I have talked about, if you ask me a direct question, I'm always going to give you a direct answer, whatever it is. And that's important to me. And authenticity, we hear that word a lot, but that's important to me. And I feel like, and I mean, we could go down the well here, but in today's easy cancel culture world and cancel culture, woke culture, this culture, that culture, division, etc., that really bugs me. And in the spirit of that, you either succumb and be what you think other people want you to be, or you go, well, no, that's not who I am.
Now,
I'm gonna be
like I said before, the thumbnail also asked the question, leave it right at the very bottom. Is The Rock at the point in time where he's uncancelable? Okay, let's go through this really, really quick. It's going to be a bit of a tangent, but trust me, it will make sense in the end. As I said before at the very beginning of this video, the vast majority of Hollywood or Hollyweird is on the left. However, some actual actors have some very, very weird stances that you, quite frankly, probably would not believe. I'll give you an example of what I mean. Let's use the actor Martin Sheen. Martin Sheen is very, very much a liberal. He's very, very much on the left. Oddly, however, Martin Sheen has a position that's more conservative, however, when it comes to the topic of abortion. A lot of that is because his wife is the result of I can't really say it on the platform, else the video will get ad suitability or it will get demonetized. But his wife was the result of a situation where she could have been aborted. So therefore, his position is obviously not the same as a radical left on that said topic. Jack Nicholson also has a feeling just like that, and so does even Justin Bieber, even though we've obviously got a lot to work with there. By the way, none of this is a defense of any of these actors. We all know what Hollywood is. But still, at the same time, though, some people have they have odd niches. Like if it came down to one issue, they would choose the one issue over their ideology. But still, like I said before, Hollywood will in fact always side with the left. Now, there's another Fox News piece from the 5 where they discuss this exact same topic, and I wanted to include it in this video, but I realized that is what made the video bloated. I'm going to link that video in the description box for you guys. It's about 12 minutes long where they discuss this. And of course, Judge Janine Pirro, she makes the point that certain actors over time, those actors include Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, some even more action genre people from the 1980s. They were never actually liberals, even though Schwarzenegger has obviously gone off the deep end with his Trump derangement syndrome. It's damn near turned him back into a socialist. The point of the matter is this, right? And by the way, Schwarzenegger spoke at the 2004 Republican National Convention. So, I mean, at some point in time, you get to the point where people are going to complain about what you say because you've been in the industry for so long. So many people automatically think that The Rock may be at this point in time where anything that's said to him is just going to roll off his back, which, of course, he does talk about in the next segment. But the thing you got to understand is this right here. Being real, being honest, being who yourself, I've never gotten a vibe from The Rock where he was not. And, of course, I'm speaking to you guys as a guy who's about to turn 40 years old in the next year, who grew up watching The Rock in WWE wrestling, got used to his trash talk, all the funny moments, even though my personal favorite wrestler from the Attitude Era was really Triple H. The point is this right here. A lot of people, especially people my age and people who are probably now currently in their late 20s, early 30s, they've already gotten used to The Rock, so therefore they're probably not going to turn on him regardless. So when The Rock did decide to endorse Biden, nobody was shocked by this because, as I've said before, Hollywood always typically tends to endorse the left. I don't think Hollywood endorsements really and truly matter. But let's talk about that more so on the other side.
Achieving some notoriety, a little bit of success here and there, I start to realize, oh man, this is a superpower. The fame is a superpower when used correctly, I believe, when you could use it to influence people and also use it to influence other people in terms of, again, being direct and being honest.
So let's be direct, let's be honest. There was a time that you used your fame, and it was a time that not everybody was happy. And that was a few years ago.
That's right.
And you made a very big point. You said, I've never done this before.
I have never publicly endorsed a presidential candidate or a vice presidential candidate. So I figured let's kick this conversation off this way by me officially publicly endorsing you both.
Are you happy that you made that endorsement in 2020? Are you happy with the state of America?
Am I happy with the state of America right now? Well, that answer is no. Do I believe we're going to get better? I believe in that. I'm an optimist.
The only thing that happened as a result of The Rock endorsing Joe Biden back in 2020, and I'm going to go ahead and briefly break down what I mean by this. 2020, I've said this a lot. I'll continue to say this over and over again, even though we know what happened that cycle. The thing is this right here. There was a massive undertow of people who were voting for Biden, not realizing what Biden's policies would be. This is the same group that has said that they would not vote for Biden if given the opportunity today. I kind of believe them because their lives got wrecked as well as everybody else. I mean, look, dude, the recent job report that just came out shows that the Biden administration added 303,000 jobs. However, when you actually go into the actual job numbers itself, you'll see that 71,000 of those jobs were government jobs, and only 6,000 of those jobs were even full-time jobs, meaning that about 2/3 of the jobs created were actually part-time jobs, which is kind of the norm in the Biden economy, especially with the rampant inflation. There's also something else, too, that could explain The Rock not endorsing Joe Biden, and that right there being the fact that The Rock is now sitting on a board that includes Dana White and several WWE executives. Everybody on those panels are voting for Donald Trump, have voted for Donald Trump, and even are friends with Donald Trump. Long before Vince McMahon's recent debacle, Vince McMahon had an extremely good relationship with the former Trumpster. I mean, dude, WrestleManias 4 and 5 took place in Trump Casino in New Jersey, Atlantic City. Just figure I'd point that out. They've been business partners for a very long time, so therefore they've also been friendly for a very long time. So, of course, due to a business decision, The Rock is not going to come out here and endorse the person who could actively be going out of their way to hurt their company. Oh, what I'd like to say to you guys real quick before we get to the next segment is this here. Do you guys remember the other day that I posted a video about Michael Rapaport, serial anti-Trumper, basically evolving on his political views? Don't worry, that video will be left in the description box for you guys, as well as the Fox News piece. But let's play a bit of that real quick.
Political views have changed immensely. I will not vote for Joe Biden. At this point, when we're doing this interview, voting for Trump is on the table. People are like, what are you talking about? That's my reality. I will not support anybody who's anti-Israel. I will not support anybody that is anti-making America safe, that is cool with the fact that I got to show my ID at least 3 or 4 times at the airport, but it takes you 2 minutes to call.
Nobody cares about Rapaport. They really and truly don't. Rapaport has got the ability to say whatever, and nobody's really truly going to care what the hell he has to say, unless, of course, you're a New Yorker and you're one of the ones that Michael Rapaport insulted from 2016 all the way to right recently. Nobody really truly cares about it. He could come out tomorrow and endorse Trump, and the only thing that's going to happen is that conservatives are just going to come out here, people like myself, and we're just going to make fun of him for it. Rock, on the other hand, has got a different level of pretty much uncancelability. Basically, what I'm saying is that Rapaport, a D-lister, is such a D-lister that he, quite frankly, can't be canceled. And even if he did get canceled, nobody would give a crap. But still, it's fun to dunk on him. Now, here's why I chose to replay that clip. Rapaport is a D-lister. Rapaport is a guy who, for the most part, is remembered for just a couple of things. He's remembered for starring in the film True Romance, cult classic. That's kind of the film that got him on the map. He's remembered for his role in Copland. He's known for his comedy, which I don't think is really funny at all. More of a Dave Chappelle, old school Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor kind of guy. Yeah, I kind of adore some of the classics. But the thing is this right here. Michael Rapaport has always been a D-lister. He's been a D-lister for a very long time. Every now and again, he'll make appearances on sports shows, like, say, we used to do appearances on Skip and Shannon Undisputed. But for the most part, he's a D-lister. Nobody really and truly cares. We talk about Rapaport from time to time on the channel because it's funny to see somebody with absolute Trump derangement syndrome flip overnight or flip over a period of time. And I explained in that video before why it was that his political transformation was pretty much on its way. It just took something to kind of push it there. But still, the point is this right here. Comparing Michael Rapaport to The Rock is not a comparison at all. The Rock, I think, has reached such high levels of celebrity status to where he says at this point in time is not going to matter regardless, because I think he's gotten to that point to where he can be one of the few untouchables in Hollywood. This is not an endorsement of him. I'm just simply saying he's one of those guys. Another person, by the way, that's somewhat of an untouchable when it comes to movies and takes is Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is still very, very much a well-respected actor. He still does action films. I think they're making the third Top Gun film. And I think he's got one more Mission Impossible film. And we're not even sure that's even really true to the end, because there's always a possibility of something else happening. The point is this right here. The Rock may have gotten to that status with his following to where, regardless of what he says, he's pretty much uncancelable. Even though what he was saying there about his platform or whatnot might make you think that he's aware of this, but still at the same time, after a while, you're just going to kind of just drown out the noise. You ain't got to, look, the best way to beat the woke is just, quite frankly, just straight ignore the woke, okay? Don't apologize for anything. Don't bow down to the mob. But let's get this next one.
I'm in this position where I have some influence, and it's my job then. I felt like that then. It's my job now to exercise my influence and share with this is who I'm going to endorse. Am I going to do that again this year? That answer is no. I'm not going to do that, because what I realized, what that caused back then was something that tears me up in my guts back then and now, which is division. And that got me. And the takeaway after that, months and months and months, I started to realize, like, oh man, that caused an incredible amount of division in our country. So I realize now, going into this election, I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't do that because my goal is to bring our country together. I believe in that in my DNA. So in the spirit of that, there's going to be no endorsement. Not that I'm afraid of it at all, but it's just I realize that this level of influence, I'm going to keep my politics to myself. And I think it's between me and the ballot box. But I will tell you this. While, like a lot of us out there, not trusting of all politicians, I do trust the American people, and I trust that whoever they vote for, that's going to be my president, and that's who I'm going to support. I think it's between me and the ballot box. But I will tell you this. While, like a lot of us out there, not trusting of all politicians, I do trust the American people, and I trust that whoever they vote for, that's going to be my president, and that's who I'm going to support.
I'll let that one right there run a little bit longer than normal, but I want to go ahead and address it before we go any further. When The Rock says I have faith in the American people, I don't share the same vision. I just don't, okay? Right now, you've got Republican women who are talking about voting Democrat this cycle because they've been pumped up so much about reproductive rights, which I think is a joke because at the end of the day, it's still killing a baby. We have become a society that would much rather kill a child, deny a child on the way opportunity at life, versus overall well-being of yourself. We care more about that than we do anything else. It's a joke. It's actually a terrible joke. So no, I don't have full faith in the American people. I would love to have full faith in the American people, but I don't. It seems to me that what's happened in this case is that The Rock just simply has good old-fashioned Biden grit. He refuses endorsing Joe Biden, and there's a multitude of reasons why that's the case. He recently went on Joe Rogan, and he's going to come up here in a second. Joe Rogan, he went up there and he talked about people he knew that were just loyal to the Democratic Party. Oftentimes you run into people who are more loyal to a party than they are the actual country itself. People accuse Republicans of it all the time, but then again, though, what do I always say? The left always accuse you of what they are guilty of. I have never, ever seen a single Democrat in my life that was not loyal to the party. Yes, there are people who vote Democrat who leave to the right, but they're normally people who weren't registered Democrats. They're people who got simply tired of voting for people who were making their life 10 times worse than what it already was. So they eventually just came over and said, you know what, maybe I'll try something different. Or they may start voting third party. Another reason why The Rock has got Biden grit is probably because he went out there with Whoopi Goldberg and probably went to bat for Biden over the Maui situation. He probably feels like, you know what, I went through a lot of undue bull crap to protect somebody that I told people to go vote for or I endorsed, and this right here's the thanks I get. Sounds pretty normal if you ask me. Something else, too, that needs to be said, and I didn't say this right here before, but this right here kind of goes back to his overall Biden grit, and, of course, also to go on top of this, the cancel culture. I think the cancel culture has gotten to the point to where probably people in his circle have probably been canceled or they've been harassed or attacked online, too. He's probably looking at that and saying, look, I'm getting tired of this. The more crap that I see, the more BS, the more heat that I see is from people that I told to go vote. Yeah, they're attacking me now rather than going after the other side. So he's probably just done with these people altogether. And like I said before, he's at a point in time in his career where he's got such a large following that it probably doesn't matter what he says at this point in time, that he probably can't be canceled. Almost like he's matriarchal in that actual town itself. Other things that you have to consider is, like I said before, the board that he sits on. At the end of the day, if you're in the fight business, you're about making money. Well, if you can't pay for the pay-per-view because the inflation is so high, don't you think that it might be more important for the consumer to buy your products so that way you can make more money? There's also the possibility, and something he probably didn't say before, but he probably hates the overall woke culture. He alluded to it, but he wouldn't have alluded to it if he didn't like it. I think what's going on is that The Rock simply is tired of this. He also sees the box office returns, and he also sees Hollywood. He also sees that Hollywood is losing money hand over fist because they keep putting out woke crap propaganda that's designed to go for the Democratic Party. He sees the writing on the wall, and he says no. That right there, I think, leads me to my final point. People forget that The Rock is the son of former wrestler Rocky Johnson. He is the grandson of former wrestler High Chief Peter Maivia. Wrestlers. The Rock himself was a wrestler. The Rock made a lot of money, got his fame being a WWE star. The Rock understands what you have to do to make money and what you have to do to not make money. At the end of the day, he understands that the dollar is kind of what drives the economy and kind of drives the situation in everybody's life. If you don't have money, you can't really live. And while money is not the most important thing in the world, it's the people who typically say that I'll put it this way here. The people who say money can't buy happiness typically tend to be people who've already got money, people who've never been without money. This is why I've always said that money makes the world go round and round. It's not the most important thing to life at all, but still at the same time, it's definitely a necessity. The thing that you got to understand is that The Rock sees this, and he's also looking at what the hell is going to generate more and more money. And I think he's actually being, quite frankly, honest about this. Now, if you think that I'm over here just being a blind defender for The Rock, I have no idea what to tell you. I'm just being 100% real with you. But still, at the same time, if you think that I'm being a blind defender for him, piss off. I really and truly don't care what you think. I'm going to tell you guys the truth. I'm going to be honest with you at all points in every aspect. I'm going to give you my honest thoughts. Even if I get it wrong, you're going to get my honest thoughts on the situation. The point is this right here. He's got Biden grit. And I did mention something about Joe Rogan earlier, but I did not clamp down this final point, which is exactly where I'm going to go to before I give you guys a couple of updates and close on this video. This, to me, I think, is the most important thing that nobody seems to understand. And that right there would be how powerful your endorsement can and cannot be. I personally don't think that celebrity endorsements are really that important. The reason why I don't think celebrity endorsements are that important is because, well, people for the most part understand that celebrities don't pay their bills. I have had people come up to me, mostly people on the left, and say, well, did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he thinks? Robert Downey Jr. agrees with Bernie Sanders on this right here. I never heard that. I haven't. By the way, aren't you people on the left like anti the rich? You want what the rich has, which is really what it is. It's politics of envy. I want what you have. I can't have it. I can't get them all. So I want it. Give it to me. I demand you give it me. Very hypocritical coming out of these people. If a celebrity endorsement affects anybody, it affects them. The mentally ill, the crazies, the infected. Not those who have an actual condition. I'm talking about the crazy, the Trump deranged. That's what I'm saying. I think that Joe Rogan's endorsement, when he said, look, I'm an idiot, I don't know anything about politics, even though he spent all of 2020 talking about politics, I think that when he told people to go listen to David Pakman and Kyle Kulinski, I think that did way more damage than The Rock's endorsement. The only thing people did when The Rock endorsed Joe Biden and Kamala Harris was just simply make memes about it. That's all the hell they really and truly did. Whereas people who listened to Rogan to help them get through the day or whatever, when they went to David Pakman and Kyle Kulinski, the two biggest dumbasses, in my opinion, on this platform, that right there caused a problem. Now, guys, I'm going to give you guys just a couple of very quick updates. This video right here is coming out on Sunday. There's going to be 2 more videos like this that are going to be, for the most part, kind of reactionary in type. We're just going to kind of explain things. And on Tuesday, there's going to be a video that's going to be somewhat of a reactionary type video that on the situation involving DEI, but it's more of a explanation of why people are on the left, or some people who are influential, because trust me, we got 4 people to talk about here that could get canceled. Well, The Rock obviously explained to you guys why he wouldn't. But those videos are going to be coming out over the next few days. I'm also going to be giving you guys more updates over the course of those videos because the situation's about to change come next month with me. So things could, things may get moved around. But still, at the same time, though, please tell me your thoughts in the comment section. Please hit the like button, subscribe, share the video, sign off in the comments, and I'll see you guys later.